What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another segment of the Neighborhood Podcast. I'm half the podcast, Kevin Valentin.
And I'm the other half of the podcast. My name is Kyle Dabber. Kevin, what's going on, my guy?
Nothing, man. Good weekend. Nice, relaxing Monday. Honestly, just kind of excited to get this going. Not too much content over the weekend, not too much content throughout the day. Guys, we are in that lull kind of period where me and Kyle are kind of just thinking about what it is we can expand upon, what can we turn into a segment, and then, kind of fishing for news because I mean, obviously, the MLB, the postseason races are continuing. The NFL is about 2 or 3 weeks away. The NBA is pretty much just at a stagnant stall right now in terms of any kind of news. And then obviously the Olympics are over. So I mean, Kyle and I are just kind of taking this a day at a time and making sure that we can just get some stuff out here for you guys, at least on a consistent basis, even if it isn't a lot. But today we are going to talk about the NFL MVP odds that recently have come out just a few days ago, at least from the Vegas insider that we are using right now. Um, Kyle and I have different perspectives on this, of course, as we normally do when it comes to season awards. But obviously, the season is about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks away, depending on who your team is. And Kyle and I just kind of wanted to take a little bit of a stab as to who we think would be the best player in the league this year. And Kyle, I'm going to let you go first, man. Who do you think the 2021 MVP is going to be for the NFL?
If I had to pick somebody, I'm going to go with Matt Stafford. I think this is a year that I think Matt Stafford is really going to shine. He's on a new team with the LA Rams, and the Rams are my favorite to come out of the top of the NFC West this year, which by far is the most competitive division, at least on paper, going into this season. So here's why I think that Matt Stafford is going to essentially get the MVP this year. When I look at the receivers that he has to throw to this year, he's got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Deshaun Jackson. And on top of that, you have Tyler Higbee, which
Deshaun Jackson's signed with the Rams?
he's on the roster.
Holy, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. And to kind of focus on Higbee here for a second, this is a great option for Matt Stafford to hit. I mean, when I really think back to some of the tight ends that Matt Stafford threw to back in the day in Detroit, I think the best that I can come up with is what maybe Brandon Pettigrew.
Tight
Outside of
end
that,
wise, yeah.
yeah, he did not have a lot of options at the tight end spot to throw to. So when I look at the change going from Detroit to LA, it's a huge step up. And the fact that I think Tyler Higbee is going to be one of his security blankets to go to, I think it's going to be huge for Matt Stafford this year. Not only that, you got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Deshaun Jackson. I mean, you got three great wide receivers to throw to. Listen, if one of them's covered, hell, even if two of them are covered, you still can have a third option to go to make some plays for you. And I also think with the fact of the matter is that Cam Akers is out with the season is out for the season due to a torn ACL. I think it's going to put a little bit more pressure on Matt Stafford's back to perform at his highest level to not only get the Rams to the top of the NFC West, but to get them to the top of the NFC. I really and truly believe that what Matt Stafford is going to bring to the Rams offense, and then you combo that with what the Rams defense could do. Because look, you got Aaron Donald, you got Jalen Ramsey. Those two guys are going to be leading the pack as far as the Rams defense goes, but the offense is going to be much more improved than last year when, to be honest with you, Jared Goff was not the guy. That's why LA made the trade to get Matt Stafford. Just because I don't think Jared Goff was going to be the long-term solution for what the Rams wanted. You get Matt Stafford coming into the fold, looking for something to prove. He's been one of the greatest statistical quarterbacks that we've seen of this era. Yet he has no playoff experience to really prove his worth when it matters the most. And I think this is the year that we finally see him take that next step to being arguably one of the best quarterbacks. Not only talk about Brady, not even talk about Mahomes, where you could see Matt Stafford potentially be a top three, top five quarterback this season. It's just, I think that he's going to be I think he's going to be great this year. That's just my expectation for Matt Stafford. I have him as the MVP this year.
So I'm going to go into the opposite conference. I'm going to lean towards Josh Allen. I think that the Buffalo Bills offense took a great step last year. I think that the team as a whole took a great leap. Obviously getting all the way out to the AFC Championship game against the defending AFC champion and Super Bowl champion at the time. Kansas City Chiefs kind of giving them a run for their money as best as they could. I mean, Josh Allen kind of coming out in years, what was it, 3 or 4? I can't remember in terms of last season how where he was.
He was
Mm.
he was on his way up. He was
You know what
definitely
I mean?
on his way.
He was in that draft class, obviously, with Josh Rosen and those other guys. So I'm just kind of, for whatever reason, I just think that he's going to take the next leap. Stephon Diggs already catapulted himself into the category of one of the better receivers in the NFL, if not a top 3 receiver, despite the height and a lot of the troubling issues that he was presenting in Minnesota as a problem. I really do think that Josh Allen can make all the throws. I think he's talented and gifted enough with the arm strength. We all know he took the leap and bounds in terms of accuracy, and I think the Buffalo Bills are going to have great success this year, like they did last year, if not better. So I wouldn't put it past Josh to take that next step. He has been doubted quite often in his career early on. He has been having to prove that he can be better, and the Yankees just won. Woohoo! That's 10 in a row. He has been proving that he can prove those doubters wrong, those haters wrong, and I really do think that he can take that next step to carry a team not only into a playoff run but possibly a Super Bowl run, depending on where the Bills fall within the AFC. And I think Josh Allen can potentially go for 50 plus touchdowns this season just because he's literally got the arm to extend a play and make a touchdown within one throw. He's got that Aaron Rodgers playmaking capability. He's got the mobility on his feet, and he has been fixing that accuracy issue that has been plaguing him for the foreseeable future and for the majority of his young career. And if he could just continue to develop and grow, I really do think that he puts the Buffalo Bills as potential AFC favorites and definitely an MVP favorite.
It is going to be interesting to see Josh Allen this year because he will be going up against a tougher AFC East division than what he had to deal with last season. The Patriots had a down year simply just because, Cam Newton was coming into the fold. He was out of the lineup for a couple weeks. And offensively, the Patriots just really couldn't go anywhere. They really stepped up in free agency, brought in some key free agent acquisitions. And I think the Patriots are going to be a much more viable team to contend with for the Bills this season. And not only that, you got the Dolphins as well. You got Tua coming into his second year. Um, didn't have a full season last year as a starter, but he is looking to make some improvements, some leaps, and really just trying to cement himself as the future quarterback for Miami for the foreseeable future. So I don't know if Miami's going to replicate the success that they had last year, but it is a team that you're going to have to contend with in your own division, and they always played the Bills tough, despite the fact they got their asses kicked by the Bills the last game of the season. So I think when it comes to Josh Allen is going to have a phenomenal year. It's just that the way that I see it is, I think Matt Stafford is just going to take the league by storm. I think when you have 3 solid playmakers at the wideout spot, and then you got Tyler Higbee as well, you got 4 great options to choose from. And as long as the offensive line can protect him, I think he's going to be able to sit back there and just carve up defenses left and right. And I think he's going to take full control of the not only the Rams, but I think he's going to take full control of the NFC West and potentially the NFC as well. So I have really high expectations for Matt Stafford this year because I think that this team, if they play their cards right and as long as injuries don't plague them, this team has the ability to go to the Super Bowl this year. I fully believe that they have that in their team this year.
Hey, Josh Allen and Matt Stafford, MVP candidates going up against it at the Super Bowl. It's a possible outcome. Bills, Rams, I wouldn't be upset. Something different.
No, I mean, it is very interesting because, we could make a very, I don't know, run of the mill guess saying, okay, Patrick Mahomes is just going to run away with it, or, Brady's going to be up for it. And, we can make those arguments. It's just, I look at just the way that some of these guys are at the top of the betting odds, and it just seemed like to me that Matt Stafford seemed like a guy that, he has an outside shot as far as the Vegas odds go, but I think that he should get a little bit more recognition than what Vegas is currently putting at. That's just my perspective.
And I agree completely. He definitely deserves some shine, new team, and I think that he's going to actually take the league and kind of make him regret doubting Matt Stafford. So I 100% agree, and I like both of our picks. I do lean towards mine just because I feel like Josh Allen had a year to build on versus, Stafford's got to prove that he can do it in this system with McVay. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, obviously, Kyle and I are very excited for the NFL season to start. We're literally like just begging for them to like skip 2 weeks just to get it going because we are just itching for not only our individual teams, but just the legitimate NFL to begin. And, this is just one segment of many coming through within the next couple of weeks. And Kyle and I just can't wait to bring some more content for you guys.
Absolutely. So, we just want to take the time to thank you guys to tune in to watch the video. We had a couple segments more coming out later today, so definitely stay tuned out for that. If you guys like the video, hit the like button below. If you guys want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, hit that subscribe button below. Any sort of support that we can get for the channel, Kevin and I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, just stay tuned out for a couple segments that are going to come out later today. Other than that, Kevin, you got anything left to say?
No, sir.
All right. Well, we will see you guys in a little bit with the next video that we put out. So, see you guys later.